Sarah Davis, and I'm with Off the Beaten Path Consulting. I'm an HR fixer. I fix all of those HR problems that people don't have the capacity or the ability to fix. But this series is called HR SOS. So we talk about topics that are important to HR, but also important to any business, really. So, today we're going to be talking about leadership training and how it is a waste of time, which is what I promised last week. We're also going to talk about emotional support and where you can get that. And then finally, we're going to talk about impressions that you project. But while this is happening, I know HR problems and situations and topics can be a little dry. So, in the corner opposite of me, you're going to see a painting being made. That is me. And so for 10 sessions of this course, I'm going to be painting flowers. Today is a sunflower. And just like last week, if you want to reach out and find out how I did it, feel free, or you can just watch it and mimic what I'm doing and come up with your own sunflower. I believe that art is a great expression, and it allows me to be a little creative and to find some outlets for my stress. So today's topic, though, the first one at least, is leadership training and how it's a waste of time. Now, that's a little bit glib because it's not really a waste of time for the employee to take leadership training, but it is a waste of time if the company that they are working at doesn't support the training. And let me explain. So I was at a job 3 jobs ago where the CEO just did not understand why someone wanted additional training. Now, this person wanted training that had to do with kind of leadership, but it wasn't directly called leadership training. But the CEO was like, they don't even lead anybody. They're not managing people. Well, in this way, the boss was saying, we're never going to promote you. So by us saying as a company, you're not allowed to take leadership training, we're not going to support that. It's basically like, not only do we not want to promote you into a role while you're managing people, or leading in this case, but we also don't care that you're going to go off to other positions and possibly lead in other organizations. And to me, that is selfish. And that's why leadership training in the workplace is pointless if the leadership that is currently there doesn't support it. So now there are lots of companies that have internal leadership programs, right? You can grow and be better and all of this stuff, but it's surface level, right? They're just doing the bare minimum to hopefully code it that they're trying to give people the impression that they're supporting good leaders in the workplace. But in all actuality, what they're doing is they're just placating you and trying to give you a little bit of what you need. So this is where finding outside companies to come in instead of having your current leadership teach leadership, having an outside entity come in and actually build a structure and give leadership development training and resources to your staff can actually make a huge difference. It shows that you are wanting to grow as a company because you're bringing in outside help, but it also shows that you care about your staff to say, we know that our current leadership may not be the subject matter experts, right? We're doing our best. We're trying to lead this company, but we all have room to grow. So even the leaders are going to take these leadership development courses because we all want to be better. There's always room for growth. So if the company you're with is saying no to leadership training, especially bringing third parties in, it's very hard for your staff to have the growth mindset to want to grow and be better if the company they're working for doesn't support that. So In that regard, one of the things that I do is build leadership programs for companies. I come in, I interview their staff, I do a deep dive into what the company does and how they do it, and build a program that can help everyone from the top down grow. And that is the goal of a leadership program if the current leaders are ready for that growth also. Now, how does this work for a small company, right? You're a one-man team or you're a one-person team with two part-time people off Fiverr or Upwork, right? You're like, I'm fine, right? Why do I need leadership training? Well, here's the thing. Being a leader of a company, or in this case, sometimes an industry, right? You want to grow in your industry, you want to grow your company. A lot of entrepreneurs have always worked for other people. And if this is the first time working for yourself, it can be daunting. And finding your leadership path within that is something that almost can't be done on your own. Now, I say almost because some people are successful at it, but sometimes you need somebody along for the ride. And that's where a leadership consultant or a coach can come in and help you develop a system, a program for you and your part-time staff, or just for you to develop as a leader and to grow in those things that make your business grow, but also boost you within your industry, right? And that is very important. You want to be, in order to grow your business, you need to network and grow within the industry and show those people that you're a leader, you're a subject matter expert, and that you know what you're talking about. And if you think you do, but you've never had a coach or a consultant walk you through possibly some tweaks, some ways that you might be coming off wrong, then you may not be giving that leadership impression that you want to project. And we're going to talk about impressions here in a little bit on how you portray yourself to the world. But this is just one aspect of that portrayal of leadership and how you want the world to see you as an individual, as an entity or a company, or even just your general impression that you're providing to the world. You want to make sure that you have somebody along for the ride in a way. And now we're going to get into emotional support, because having somebody along for the ride can mean a variety of different things, right? And so I'm going to reach over here because my person that I take along for the ride whenever I travel, this is Harry, and Harry is my emotional support bear. Okay. And just so you know, these shirts are available at Build-A-Bear Workshop. I am not getting commission off of this. I'm just sharing because it's a cute shirt. And this is Harry. And he travels with me, and he has been to a lot of different places, especially for the Red Cross, giving emotional support to other people too. He's probably been hugged by about 500 people in his little lifespan. Okay, and I'm hoping that grows. So emotional support can come from a wide variety of places, from teddy bears, right? Or from your family, friends, and colleagues. And this is where you want to start thinking about that, those people you bring along for the ride, okay? That emotional support network. And it's very important to kind of think about what you need as an emotion, right? And I know that it depends on the topic, right? I personally want people that are going to support me in my adventures, who are going to ask questions and who are going to say, what did you do today? What did you accomplish today? You know, what are your goals for the week? And actually be interested, right? But one of the things that I avoid in people is conflict. I don't like to argue. I like to debate, but I think that's a little bit different. But I don't like to argue. And so I avoid people who are always the negative side of things, right? We all have those people that we've met in our past or possibly currently in our life where, they're just always negative. They're always, instead of giving you solutions or giving you ideas to try, they're just saying, well, that's wrong, or, making you feel something for making that decision. So, emotional support is something that boosts you up. And it's a group of people or individuals in your life that are boosting you up. So, in that, I would say, look at the people in your life and think about, who should you distance yourself from? Who is not making you happy? Who do you dread having a phone call with? We all have that, right? Your phone rings and you're just looking at it, you're like, ugh, do I have to answer that today? And if that is happening to you, you need to start distancing yourself from those people, because emotional stability and being an entrepreneur or a small business really makes a difference. You are a one-man show. And you're going to get sick, right? You're going to have a cold, you're going to have whatever. So you're going to have to take days off. But if you have to start taking emotional days off because you don't have a support network that is helping to boost you up, they're only taking you down, that can be very, very dramatically impacting your company. And I know for me, I have been working from home for about 15 years, but I've only been an entrepreneur per se for about 5 now. I've done consulting for 15 years, but it was different realms at one point, and now I'm a consultant all in my own right, and I think that's a little bit different than when I was working for other people, and now I'm working solely for myself. Um, so that emotional support, though, is key to making sure that you aren't bringing yourself down and having to uh, miss out on making money. And I'll be honest with you, that's the biggest part about being an entrepreneur, right? You have to make money, you have to pay your bills, and you have to have uh, those people in your life that are supporting that adventure. And I'll go to a quick story, because this was a while ago, but it happens every so often because I've worked from home for like 15 years. So this was probably a while ago. This is probably 10 solid years ago, if not more. And I was working from home, minding my own business, and a friend of mine called who had 3 littler kids. They were all still in school at that point. And she called me and she was like, something came up, and I can't pick my kids up today at 3 o'clock. Would you be able to do that? And now it was an emergency. I understood the concept. And since I did have the flexibility, I said, yes, I'll pick them up. I'll bring them back to my house, and you can pick them up when you are free. So a couple hours later, she picks them up. Everything was fine. Then the next day, she did the same thing. And I told her, I'm like, no, I can't do it today. And she's like, why? You're just sitting at home anyway. Let that sink in. You're just sitting at home anyway. I was like devastated. I'm like, you've been my friend for a very, very long time, and you don't understand that I'm working every day. In fact, I'm probably working 12 hours a day to your 8. I just do it from the comfort of my own home with my own setup. And she was very offended that I wouldn't do it. I was very offended by what she said. And we barely, barely talk anymore. We're still connected on social media. So it'll be funny if she ever sees this, but we're still connected on social media, but we're not friends anymore, because I can't have someone in my life who I'd literally known for years that didn't understand or take the time to understand what I really did. and that I was really working. And that that happens a lot. That doesn't help a lot. That happens a lot with people that are entrepreneurs or people that work from home. They encounter those people that are like, we don't have a real job, right? I mean, what's an entrepreneur? Oh, you're trying to make your craft into a company. Oh, that's not a real job. And this is so wrong, right? This goes back to, artists who are like, starving artists. And it's because no one supports them, right? And we need to get our support network and keep people that are giving us that emotional support. And if you don't have that, if you look around and you don't have people in your life that are supporting you wholly, fully, then build your own support network. Start with a bear, okay? And it doesn't have to have a special t-shirt. Doesn't. It can, though, if you want one. So start with a bear and build your support network out from there. There are people that are going to support you. You just have to find it, okay? And it's hard to build your space, but it's harder to live under other people's shadows. So don't do it, okay? Our next topic is impressions, the impressions that we project. All right, so now we're on to impressions we project. And I'm going to tie this a little bit to emotional support in a second. But also, I want to say that I might have to pick a fourth topic because I am only at 16, 17 minutes. And I don't know if I can talk about this for 14 more minutes. So I might have to pick a fourth topic. So let me see what that's going to be while I continue this. So what I talked about, the example I gave with the lady that didn't quite understand what I did, right? And I offended her by not wanting to pick up her kids. She offended me by saying, you're just sitting at home. It could be because of what I project. And I've had to work on that over the years, right? A lot of times I project that I have such a flexible schedule with an amazing job that I absolutely love. And, all of these things, I portray it all as sunshine and roses, right? And I started to realize, and it was quite a few years ago, approximately when this happened, that you have to portray reality. And I don't mean talking about, your desk is a mess. I mean, you can do that too, but, you don't talk about the nitty gritty bad stuff, but you don't make it sound like, being an entrepreneur or building your small business from your craft is, always hunky-dory or perfect. You want to have reality so that people understand in your circle that you're actually working. You're building a company. Doing your craft for fun and doing it for a business can be two different things. You might not want to crochet a blanket today, but you have 3 that have to go out by the weekend. You don't have a choice, right? And that can be way different. So that impression that you're portraying to the world could be giving information that you're not meaning to give. And additionally, though, the impression that you give to people of your attitude and your just overall being can impact that too. So, with social media being such a prevalent part of businesses, one of the things that I had to do this year was find my voice and find my comfortability level within projecting and presenting without a crowd. So in my career path, I have presented to groups of 10,000 all the way down to groups of 1, 2, 3, right? I've been on stages with celebrities. This isn't bragging. I'm just saying I've had a wide span of things. I've been on Fox Sports. I've been on quite a few different things. Trust me, I'm not the sport person. I was the person being interviewed. So don't. So with all of that, though, there was engagement. I had the person behind the camera at the bare minimum, or I had 10,000 people reacting to me. I had, a couple people in a room reacting to me. I got facial gestures, everything up to and including actual responses. To me, that was easy peasy. Okay, that was easy peasy. If I was ticking somebody off, I knew it. If I was making people happy, I knew it, and I could correct myself. I had to figure out my impression for social media because I couldn't correct myself. And I was worried that I was going to offend someone or say the wrong thing or be the wrong person. And I was focused on the wrong, right? I was really focused on being wrong instead of just showing myself in the right light. Now, in this video, I've said so way too much. So I'm still working on how I have my voice, my presenting voice. But I am growing in that, and I'm showing a personality, and I'm showing my voice, and I'm giving the impression that I want to give. And that's the key. How do you want the world to see you in a reality light? And I want to say that over and over and over again. Reality. Okay. And this isn't about reality TV, right? That's not what I mean. I mean actual living in reality. I live in reality. My life is not sunshine and roses, right? I have kids that have to go to camp and kids that have to go to school that mess with my schedule. I have to feed those kids. That messes with your schedule. There's laws on that and stuff. And then, I have life and I'm in school and I have clients, and all of these things impact my schedule and impact my life in good ways and bad ways and general ways. But I make sure that that's portrayed in things that I do. So people see me in a real light. They aren't looking at me as this, highfalutin person that knows everything, because I don't. I am a leadership consultant. I am an HR fixer. I can come in and ask all the right questions and fix a problem, but that doesn't make me any better than you. It just makes me look at things from a different way. And that's the impression that I want to give to people, that I'm here to help and that I'm here to help solve a problem. And when you're building your business, think about that impression that you want to give, right? Are you crocheting blankets? I'm using that as an example. Is your goal to just give out blankets, or is your goal to make someone happy, to spread happiness? Or maybe it's to spread warmth. I mean, it's blankets, right? So, or a little bit of both. But you get my point. Kind of think about what you want to portray with your company, and then start portraying that with your message. Start portraying that with your voice, your gestures, your videos, right? All of those things, as well as, anything that you do post. Social media, and I think that'll be the topic we round this out with, is a few minutes of how to portray yourself on social media. We do have, we, loosely, I just said we, and the mouse in my pocket is not there, but myself and a colleague, we have a twice monthly free marketing Q&A that you can come on and talk and ask your social media questions and your marketing questions. And we also have a few videos that talk about tips and tricks for things that you should focus on with marketing. But today we're going to talk about you getting your message out a little bit better and getting your voice heard. So for me, like I said, I've been focusing a lot on finding my voice this year. And one of the things is, for me, the shorter timelines. So doing a 60-second video is kind of easy to me because a thought pops into my head. And, I'll be like, we'll do back to emotional support. I did a video this week on, emotional support. I showed Harry, I talked, for 60 seconds on how you need to have emotional support and finding your tribe and all of those things. And it was just a quick snippet. It wasn't in depth. It didn't give a full story. It didn't tell you really anything about Harry, just showed you at the beginning. But it gave a quick snippet for people to want more or to think about it more or to research it more to find their emotional support. And so when you are thinking of that and what you're going to put out on social media, think about that impression that it's going to give, the message that it's going to give. So is your message, in the summer that blankets convey warmth? The answer is probably no. So what you want to do is focus on my blankets. I crochet these blankets and I have thin ones that are wonderful for picnics. Summer is great for picnics. Or, you know what? It's getting almost into August. So maybe you need some lap blankets for those football games. Not necessarily, bundled up warmth, but lap blankets, right? And then you get into Thanksgiving and Christmas where those warm blankets really make a difference and your message will change a little bit more. So you want to think about those messages that you're putting out. And that also is about your impressions that you're putting out into the world. You're saying, I'm here to help fix a problem. Right? You need a blanket for a picnic? I got one. Your legs are cold during that football game? Psh, I have the solution. And you want to cuddle by the fire during Christmas? I got the perfect crocheted blanket for you. And having that happen and putting out your business voice, you'll eventually get your personal voice along with that. And then you can start making videos where you're talking about your crocheting or the tips of, different hooks and things that you can use. And you can start talking and teaching people if you want. But it's all about the impression you want to put out into the world and how you want the world to see you. All right, we are going to kind of do an wrap up here, and we're going to talk a little bit about everything we talked about. So first of all, leadership training is a waste of time, but only if the leadership of the company is not supporting it wholeheartedly. So if you want to have leadership training at your company, you need to start at the top and make sure that the leadership at the top is supportive of bringing in that leadership training. And if you're a small business or a single entrepreneur, you need to think about bringing in leadership training at an individual level, a coaching level, one-on-one with people to build them into the leaders you want them to be, and you want them to be in their career with you as well as going outside of that. So you want to, coaching is not always about building them within your company because most people aren't working somewhere 20 years anymore, but you want to develop leaders under your watch so that you know that they're growing within your company and they're doing the best they can for you. Then we talked a little bit about emotional support, right? And we talked about building your support group, right? Each person should have their support group. You want people that are going to lift you up, not people that are going to tear you down. You want to build a team that is going to actually ask you questions, people that are going to be engaged in what you do, and vice versa, people that you want to engage with. And if somebody is truly always negative and always giving the bad side of things instead of giving you solutions and ideas and truly listening, then you need to limit them from your life. I'm never going to say cut somebody completely, but you want to minimize their engagement with your business at the bare minimum because you're trying to build something amazing and they're just trying to tear it down. And we would never want to keep somebody in our life that's tearing us down. And then we talked about impressions and how people view you, right? So you want to portray reality and not the dirty reality, just the real reality. Don't be afraid to tell people that, you work from home, but you actually work from home. You have a business, you're working every day, and block your calendar from 8 to 5 like a real job. And block out a lunchtime for you to take lunch and do all of these things that give you that schedule, but also convey to other people that you actually have a real business that you're running and it's no holds barred different than what they do. Right? You have a job, they have a job, yours is just a little bit different. Never be afraid to give that. And we wrapped up with how to look at social media a little bit to find that voice, to give that impression out to social media, and to make sure that your voice is there and that you're portraying the message you want to portray for your business and for yourself. That is it. We are at 30 minutes. Again, my name is Sarah, and I am with Off the Beaten Path Consulting. And if you have any HR questions or you want to talk about leadership development for you or your company, reach out to the QR code that you see here on the screen, and I would love to talk to you. Have a wonderful week.